Today we're going to change this wheel bearing. This 2019 Mitsubishi Outlander. But this is how you test for a bad wheel bearing. So go ahead and grab the top and the bottom of the tire, and you're going to feel for any play. So you're going to rack it back and forth. If you get any play in there, also grab side to side, and you're going to rack it. You're searching for any play. So in my case, there's a lot of play in mine, so I'm going to go ahead and change mine. I got a bad wheel bearing here, very loud humming noise while driving down the road. So, but that's how you test it. So go ahead, take your lug nuts off, take your wheel off. Let's dive into it, guys. Okay, so I've removed the wheel, tuck it underneath the car for extra safety. I got it jacked up. And now we need to get the brake caliper off. So we're gonna get the brake caliper off. One cool thing with these calipers, they got an ABS hooked up right here. See, there's a clip. So if you squeeze the clip, take this off. This is cool. And there are two bolts that hold this caliper, two 14mm bolts. So one right here, and there's one right down here, exactly up in here, 14mm bolts. So you remove those two bolts, and then we can get our brake caliper off. Okay, so I got those two bolts out of there. So the next thing is gonna take off our brake caliper. So you notice it's loose. But the cool thing with, you can lay this down. Since we got rid of the ABS, unplug that. So I just lay this down here, right? So now we're good. So now it's to get this rotor off, and then we can get to the bearing, the wheel bearing. So with these, something to know about these, on older cars or other vehicles, this is the same procedure for most vehicles anyway. There is a set screw right here, two set screws. But with this one, there's a slot. So there's a hole for it, but there's no set screws. So there's no set screw in this one, so you don't have to worry about that one. And also, you can do this later. Okay, so I went ahead and I took this off. I already loosened this up. It is a 32mm or a inch and a quarter socket. You know, so I loosened mine up. It wasn't too tight. And so now, so my rotor, you know, rusted. See, there's a lot of rust. So I went ahead and I sprayed some blaster in there, you know, to let it sit for a few minutes. And after that, what I did to mine is I gotta hit it from the back disc. So make sure you're not hitting this part where the brake disc travels at, and the back as well. So I hit it from the back here, but I stay above where the brake disc are at. So mine was, I got it loosened up now, just for demonstration, but I already did it. I got it loosened up, and I hit it a few times, and it came loose. You know, so this is, so now this part here, we have the bearing. So bearing, you see how tight it is, or if it's rusted on there, or it's easy to come out. So what I'm gonna do, it's a whole one, so don't worry about it getting messed up. We're gonna change it anyways. Okay, it's not bad. This one is not bad at all. Okay, so I got it off of there. Here it is. But before you, I had to, it didn't want to, you gotta hang up a little bit. So what I use is this punch right here, and I tapped it. And I just tapped it softly. You know, it didn't take much to come out of there. But something you gotta notice for before you pull it out of there, there's a sensor at the back. You see this opening right here? See that opening? There's a sensor that goes onto it. This right here. So you gotta remove that from the back. It goes in the back here. In this part. The sensor. So before you get it out of there, you gotta remove that sensor out of there. And so now we're ready to install our new one. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clean up in here, wire brush to it, and so that's where the bearing is gonna sit. And this is my new one. See that clip I'm talking about? That sensor's going right back. So this is a new one. I want to replace it. So guys, it's pretty straightforward. It's easy, you know. I'm gonna get it back, put back together, and all you got to do is the reverse. I'm gonna show you how I put back the. So we got 4 bolts. Forgot to show you those. My bad. That held the bearing. Sorry. And there are 17mm bolts. So from back here, I don't know if I can show you guys, but back here, and if you look at the front of the thing, where the bearing sits, you can tell where the bolts are. So you see these holes. If you follow them and go to the back, you know, you can find the bolts back there. A lot of people say they're hard, but they're really not hard to get to. Yeah, they're pretty easy. I'm gonna be honest, it's a little tight back there, you know, but once you kind of get your tool and you fix yourself in a certain position, you just got to work your way around stuff. And it's not hard at all. Once you break those, mine came out pretty easy, you know, so it's not terrible at all. But I'm going to show you while I'm putting them back in. But yeah. All right, so I got it cleaned up. I got some anti-seize on there. And I'm going to tuck it back in. So here we go. I got some anti-seize on mine. So you see these 2 holes right here? Those 2 holes. The 2 at the bottom. Those 2 at the bottom, the 2 at the top. So I'm gonna line up my holes on the bearing with those, which, as I said before, this is pretty much self-explanatory. It's pretty easy. You know, so I'm gonna line up my holes up top and 1 at the bottom, and we'll get the bolts lined up, and we should be good. So we got our bearing. So we got our bearing back on there. We got it bolted on there. So you see the bolts, 1, 2, and there are 2 in the back. So I catch those in my hands first from back here. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. My finger. So there's 1 of the bolts. Yeah, so you can actually use your finger to turn. So I hand tighten those first. But remember to put your shield back on. Put your shield back on before you do anything. So the shield is back on there first, and then your bearing goes after. You line it up, the holes on the top and on the bottom, and you catch your bolts on the back and the sensor. So let me show you from the old one. So there's a sensor back there. Remember that sensor? So here's the bracket that it goes into. So this bracket here. So what happened is this bracket, you can bend this part out. See that part? So when you stick your sensor in, the flat side is going to face this way. Yeah, and the bevel side is going to face this way. So the flat side face this way to the and after you got it in, there you're going to use a screwdriver to squeeze this back in. See? You can squeeze right against the sensor. Squeeze it against the sensor. So you make sure that is in there real good. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my rotor back on now. And what I love to do, you should be good if you got this far. You know, it's all you gotta do now is throw your rotor back on there, put back the brake caliper on there, and throw your wheel back on there. You know, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up. I hope you get your job done. Alrighty, bye.